Hey everybody, you're tuning in to another AFTERBUZZ TV after show for $1 Million Listing Los Angeles. We're recapping Season 9, Episode 3, Fuchsia My Life. We've got a special guest as well. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, bringing it back with a little bit of
So
California
fitting
love.
because we love California.
Absolutely.
Yes,
We're
we
back
do.
again for another episode of $1 Million Listing. I'm your host, Erica Shannon, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby, and I'd like to introduce my co-host.
I'm just really excited to have James Harris
Oh, you
here
see?
today.
Yeah.
I want
I was gonna
you
get
to go. I
to
want you to
it.
go first.
I was going to
Take
get
it.
to it. I was going to give you a proper introduction.
Please, go for it.
He is one of Hollywood's top 25 real estate agents named by The Hollywood Reporter, as well as listed in the Real Trends with the Wall Street Journal as one of the top 1,000 agents in the United States.
Whoa.
We have Mr. James Harris in the building. Welcome.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah,
this
thank
is
you for
fun.
being
This is
here.
great. This is
Hashtag
amazing.
no big deal, right?
Hashtag whatevs. This is fun.
And I'm Nataly Tvidian, everyone. You can find me everywhere at Nataly Tvidian. That's Natalie with a Y.
Nick?
Where can they
Damn.
find you at? I have to tell the guest first.
Please, I will give you the hashtag. It is at James Bond ST. Would you believe it?
That's
James
even cooler
Bond
than me.
ST.
You can find me everywhere. Nick Mardi 13, NICKMARDI 13. The number isn't relevant.
Completely. He is not 13 years old.
And James
I
also
promise.
has a Facebook Live going, so
Yeah.
if you go on his
yes.
Facebook page,
Everybody.
hello Facebook Live.
What's up?
Well, great. Let's just jump into the episode, recap it really quickly, and then we'll talk with James a little bit more. So, starting off with Josh Altman, we see the episode starts off with Heather coming in with some wedding plans, some wedding invitations. And did you guys know that all the colors had meanings? Like cement
I
means
just liked
something.
hearing Josh spell out
Try
or
to
sound
spell out
out
the fuchsia.
Yes.
He said, what
Yeah.
did he say at first? Fuau?
And
then
oh,
he-
let's
He
not
said
say that
something
on
they had
air
to
right
blank.
now.
He said something that they had to blank out
Yeah.
Exactly.
in the caption. But
It ended with sh. We
Yeah.
know that. We don't know. We can't say the first part.
But yeah, so that was very entertaining. But getting into his actual deal of the episode, he has a client that is listing their property and wants to sell it at 11.5. They are hard set at 11.5. James, have you ever dealt with a client that is very strict about what they want to sell their property for?
I think every single client is strict about
Yeah.
what they want to sell their property for, and every single client has the best property. So we
And they're
we
also
get it.
market.
different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very particular with
Yep.
what they want.
The
Very
luxury
different.
market must be so different than any other type of market because I feel like these kind of people are so firm on their price. They know what they want. They don't like to mess around.
I think you're dealing with cutthroat buyers, you're
Yeah.
dealing with cutthroat sellers, and you got to try and put two and two together, and it's not easy. You know, it's a high-end market. We're talking about million, tens, 20, $50 million. A deal closed today for $100 million.
Oh my God.
And we're dealing with some cutthroat people out there, so it's difficult.
One of my favorite people, I'm not going to jump too quick, but
Yes.
Jay, we've seen him
yes.
come and go, and Jay knows what he wants, and
He's
I'm like, how
cutthroat.
does this guy handle it? I
cutthroat.
would scream running.
Yeah, he is a cutthroat dude,
Yeah.
no question.
Yep. What I liked in the beginning with Josh, he said, "This is it weird." He was trying to figure out what fuchsia was and trying to spell it out, and he goes, "Is it weird that I don't know normal stuff? All I know is real estate stuff." Do you
Yeah.
feel like you get to that when you're just eating, breathing, drinking, living real estate?
Altman lives it, sleeps it, wakes up in it, and yeah, I think you do get caught up. I mean,
Yeah.
this business is 24/7, 365, so you go to bed thinking about it, you wake up thinking about it, but you got to make time for family and personal life.
We
and
just watched you in the car closing a deal with your kids in the car. One was asleep.
One was asleep.
One was high-fiving.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do it all, and it's all real estate.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
Man. You have no choice. You have
The
no
king of
choice.
multitasking, everybody.
Absolutely.
That work-life balance, getting into that a little bit, David, in another interview that you guys had, mentioned maintaining that work-life balance. Have you figured it out, or?
I think it's one of those things you'll never, ever figure out because you can think you're figuring it out, but the reality is real estate is so full on and clients, they don't always want to wait around for you, but you have to make time for family, you have to make time for friends, and especially when there's children in the mix, children don't want to wait either. So you have to find a healthy balance, and I'm still working on that today.
Do you feel like it's tough because not a lot of people know exactly what goes into being a real estate agent, especially friends and family?
For sure. I mean, look, there's always setting boundaries, and there's definitely something to be said for setting a healthy boundary with your clients. For us, we love, David and I are on it. Like, we are on it. So we will always be there ready to take the call, return the email, show a house, list a house. But you do have to find that healthy balance. It's so important to a successful business, a successful marriage, business partnership. You have to find healthy balance in life.
We maybe don't get to see as much of the downtime. We usually see the call me whenever,
For sure.
24/7.
For
So
sure.
we don't see the balance as much. We see the business side more.
Yeah.
It would be cool to maybe see an episode where we get to see more of the family side, especially your family.
sure.
And more of half an episode to kind of see how the downtime is with you and your family.
It's as mad as you see it on TV. My children are double high energy. I think I'm this crazy kind of hyperactive guy, and they are me times 500.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, my 7-year-old is basically me. And
Oh my
God
God, so
help my
all this
wife.
energy times
Oh boy, yes.
double?
And I love it. I love the fact that she's a naughty, cool, and Chloe, my 3-year-old, she's the same in her own element. She's just adorable. I love them both.
We were all just watching
Amazing.
the episode together, and it just melted my heart
They're
how you
amazing.
how you reacted
Yeah.
to the scene with you in the car with
Yeah.
your children. The
It's-
reaction was just so genuine.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously, kids are. I don't want to be one of those weirdos, but kids, you can't describe kids unless you have
Yeah,
kids.
it's not a
and
weird thing.
It's
That's-
an amazing.
You hear that.
It's an amazing thing, really.
Yeah, we were talking about
Life-changing.
that video on the Wrap earlier where you're giving the house tour, and Sophia kind of takes over a little bit to
does.
show off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then she basically said cray cray. I mean, where did she come up with cray cray?
Is she getting a
I don't know.
spin-off?
She should. She should. I mean, she is a one of a kind. Both of my children and my wife. We're got an amazing family. Very blessed.
You'd say family goals. Hashtag family goals.
Hashtag family
Family goals,
goals.
everyone.
Hashtag balance. Hashtag chill out. For sure.
Yeah, but getting back to the episode just really quickly, just to finish it up, we saw that Josh Flagg had a client, Daniel,
Yeah.
who was looking into flipping, but Josh presented him with a bigger property than he was used to. Generally, he came in and just did some quick turnaround and was able to put it right back on the market. James, in terms of difficult clients, what do you feel is the best way, or is it kind of person by person basis?
It really is. Everyone is so specific. Real estate is so specific. When you're dealing with residential real estate, even with a developer, it definitely is about the numbers, but there's emotion. And when you buy a house that you're going to flip and it gets finished, you're selling it to an emotional buyer. So every buyer is different. Every deal is going to make sense if you can present it correctly. And Josh did the right thing. He found the right deal for his client. It was more money than he wanted to spend. Good for Josh. And you know what? Josh will get the listing on the back end after his client's finished remodeling it and doing it up. And so he gets the listing and he sells it now, and then he gets the listing again and sells it in 6 months to 12 months. It's great.
Yeah.
This is the first fixer-upper we're seeing this season. I feel like
Right.
most of the clients just want to come into a home that's done, that's ready to go.
Yeah.
Is that the gist of what most of the clients, the types of clients that you work with want?
It depends. I think the market's on fire in Los Angeles right now. So there's a lot of development going on. Buyers are coming in, they're buying land for 6 million, 10 million, 20 million, and they're tearing these houses down and they're building 20, 30, 50, $100 million houses. But yes, there's definitely a big wave of buyers that are coming in that just want to unpack their suitcase, put their toothbrush in the holder, get on the bed and just move in.
Yeah, they don't
Turnkey.
want to mess with the remodeling.
It's
Exactly.
been multiple times
Yeah.
so far this season that I keep hearing everyone in LA right now who has a little bit of extra cash
Yep.
thinks they're a developer.
Oh,
So
yep.
that's exactly what you're saying. People are
Yep.
just buying up land right now. They're not really moving in. Everyone wants to flip.
Well, I think, the stock market's a little shaky. I think we got the election coming up. People are waiting to see
And that
what
always
happens.
throws
But guess
people
what? You can put
spending
your
off.
money into real estate and it's bricks and mortar. You're always going to do well. So I think people want to park money into real estate. They see it as a safe haven for their money, and good for them. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yeah, it's good for these guys.
Always good
I'm
for
watching
us.
from the sideline.
Yeah. It's good for
I
us.
was gonna say, do you know of any? What kind of trends are you seeing out there in terms of house style, or like I see a lot of workout or fitness rooms
Right.
popping up lately
yeah.
in caravans and stuff that I do. Are you
Ooh,
seeing
I saw one of
anything?
those today. I
Yeah.
saw a yoga
Yeah.
studio
Oh,
that I
boy.
fell in
Wow.
love with.
I mean, look, LA is all about the amenities. I mean, we've seen fitness studios, we've seen wellness centers, bowling alleys, movie theaters that seat 25 people,
My
wine
goodness.
cellars that hold 10,000
When
bottles.
you go on some of these showings,
It
can
goes
I,
on.
tag
But
along?
can we-
go see it with the girls on Tuesday.
Wow.
I mean, it's insane what these houses.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a house coming out for 500 million next year that's going to have 4 swimming pools, an ice room, a jellyfish room, a nightclub. So these developers are taking this to the
That's
next
incredible.
I
level.
was
Yeah.
gonna say, is that
That's
a house
insane.
or is that a resort?
It's everything. I'm telling you.
gosh.
Sounds like Monaco. In Monaco, apparently every yacht, the next person wants to one-up it.
Yep.
Maybe in the developing game, everyone wants to one-up.
For
You have
sure.
one bowling alley, I want 2,
For
3,
sure.
4.
Everyone's trying to figure out how to make their house different and make it the best. Because if you look at Los Angeles, it's becoming a destination city. People are moving from London, New York, Miami, and they're coming to Los Angeles now. So it's getting competitive, and the developers are having to think outside the box how they can make the next best house. And guess what? We're on the front line, so we're there to help them, guide them, and then of course sell them. So
And
it's
you're ahead of the game
win-win.
because you're seeing everyone do it, and so you can kind of even point them out in the direction that they should be going because
Yep.
you know who's coming. You know what,
It's-
I guess people from what countries are going to be coming
It's
and what
amazing.
they want.
It's truly amazing.
Yeah, speaking of helping and assisting in real estate, your client Sasha,
Yes.
she was an emotional seller
Oh yes.
and wanted to not necessarily go for the monetary aspect.
Yep.
She wanted to find somebody that was gonna love the house like
Yep.
she did.
Yep, and that's the thing with real estate. It is emotional. Now, there aren't too many sellers out there that don't care about the money. I will say that. It is the money. But Sasha was a really interesting client because she truly loved the home. She'd lived there for many years, and good for her. She didn't want someone to come in and tear it down and rip it apart. And so it was a difficult one to go out and find that buyer. But Dave and I did it, and we got it done.
That's incredible. How do you convince her that this is it? This is the buyer for you, and they're just as emotional about your home as you are?
Because you know what? At the end of the day, I think Sasha knew we were selling her house, which was in West Hollywood. There's 20 others that are brand new construction. And at the end of the day, you got to take the offer that's there if the money is right. And this buyer wasn't tearing it down. He was making a few cosmetic changes.
Yeah.
And, it just made sense. So she was happy. The buyer's extremely happy. And job well done.
And it's
Yeah,
not every day you
that's
want to tell a buyer, sorry.
Oh, no.
don't want
You
that.
don't do that in our business. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be very careful for
Do you
sure.
have a certain set of words that you use to avoid conflict? In the way of, I feel like sometimes we always see you get into run-ins where you don't really know what to do. They want to sell the house, they want
Right.
it this way. Are there some soft words that you know how to use to kind of calm down the situation and avoid?
I mean, look, you're always trying to stabilize a situation and you're always trying to be fair, be ethical, be transparent. And Dave and I are very to the point. There's no point of beating around the bush. Sometimes it's hard because you have to tell clients what they don't want to hear. But what we found is if you're honest and direct and you tell the client as it is, it's always appreciated and it just works out.
Can we
Good.
talk about that relationship with
sure.
with you and Dave? You guys are like brothers.
We're not
Best
like, we
friends.
are just, we're not born from the same mother and father, yes.
Yeah, best friends for life. You've known him your entire life, and really wanted to touch on that because you did give us some good news earlier when
Yes.
we saw you. There was a very emotional moment in the episode
Yeah.
where David here. It breaks my heart to think about this because I've heard this moment too. To know that someone in your family is experiencing this horrible illness.
Yeah. It's the worst.
And I had a really tough time watching this
Yeah.
scene. But what is going on there, and how have you been there for David?
Well, I think the first thing is Dave is one of the most loving, honest, caring people I know, and I really mean that. And look, we fight like brothers, but I love the guy with all my heart. I love his brother, I love his mother, sister, everyone. I think it's been really difficult, Michael, David's brother, is, according to my wife, the best looking guy that she knows. Okay?
They
But I
showed
can
his
actually-
photo. He is a
Yeah, we
good
gotta find
looking
the
guy.
pictures.
I mean, the guy's gorgeous, let's be honest. And he's just, he has always been someone that we've all looked up to. And, with what he's been through and the way he's handled it, I just look up to him 1,000 times more today. I mean, this is a man who hasn't once complained or moaned or he's just been so brave, and Dave has been amazing. I mean, amazing. Anyone having to deal with that, it's so difficult. It's so hard. And, you know, it's getting so much better now, and Mike's doing great, which is incredible.
That's incredible news.
But David has the most incredible family. I mean, they are the best, best. So they came together as a family, they supported one another, they loved one another, and they were there for one another, which is incredible. And it's all going to be good, and they're going to get through it. And it's been tough, but it's getting better, which is the best part.
And that scene on camera was just that, you talking about that work-life balance. I think that summed it up in that moment where you said, you know, go home, be with your family.
Yeah, you know, it was it's funny because you're there, but then you watch the scene back.
Yeah.
And I do think that the way they capture just, you know, David, he's so vulnerable because it's so true and it's happening, and it's so sad to watch. I've watched that now.
It was not easy to watch.
It's incredibly difficult because, you know, when the real shit happens, excuse my French, you know, and I mean real by real life, not real estate, a deal, money, commission, but I mean real life things are happening, and this is the world that we live in. We're dealing with things, you know, and it was heartbreaking to watch.
It was really interesting watching, you know, when he was finding out about the news, and aside from the family support that he was getting immediately, when he was on the couch and he was more like, no, I know he'll be okay at home. I would rather just focus on the business we have at hand.
Of course. To
be that strong and not say you're going to fly home right away, that's not the first thought. Right. Just being like, I know how strong my brother is. He can take care of it on his own. And James and I have business to do.
Of course, and I think that's David. I mean, Dave is a workaholic. You know, the guy doesn't stop. And I mean that. And I think at first Dave thought, you know what, I'm going to stay, I'm going to work, everything's going to be good. And of course, that's, you know, that's the mindset. I think you go through different emotions when something so serious happens to someone so close to you. But I think at the end of the day, he obviously made the right move, went back to London, he was with his family, came back and kicked ass.
Good thing he had you, though, to push him, you know, to that direction. You all have the three brothers right there.
Dave, I mean, that's what, we're there for each other.
That's awesome.
No matter what. And, you know, Dave's been with it through times that I've been through. And that's what true friends are for, man. Loyalty and love, and thankfully everything's going to be absolutely fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for sharing that. We're keeping his family in our prayers and thoughts, and lots of positivity.
Absolutely. Yes.
I was just going to piggyback on what both Natalie and Nick have said. And the part of the episode, in addition to what is happening to David, that stuck out to me was just how supportive you were for him. And to say, you know, the business is going to be fine, you go and take care of home and just be there, because that's what he needed at that point.
I think that goes without saying, right, guys? I mean, if, God forbid, you know, someone close to you, you're just there. It's not something you think twice about. You're there for them, and they should be focused on one thing, and that's their family. And I tell you what, David has been amazing. I mean, amazing to his family. I mean, he's the man.
Right. Your closeness is just incredible.
He's been amazing. I mean, really amazing.
And once again, we only see a little bit of this, you know?
Yeah.
We only see a little bit, and we already appreciate it. And to the producers who are watching this, I know you reached out to them. We're wanting one episode of downtime where we can see the family time.
The producers are amazing. I mean, these guys
Because James
are
is
great.
our hashtag family goals. He's our hashtag best friend goals.
Yeah. Check with my wife
No
if I'm
pressure.
hashtag family goals.
No pressure
Definitely.
there. Your wife, who, by the way, I went on Bravo's website and saw your wife doing your hair. I thought that was very cute.
Yes. She doesn't do my hair anymore.
I had to mention that.
Yeah, I had to get a haircut where I could actually do my own hair.
Because you have to be quickly out the door.
No, we would have an argument every single morning because she'd have to get the kids ready and do my hair. And she basically said, I can't have a third kid. And I kind of didn't want to admit it, but sort of agreed. And she told me that I was she had 3 daughters and I was the youngest. And at that point, I went for a haircut and said, right, I'm doing my own hair.
She's very sweet about it, though.
One of my predictions for this season.
There's
going to be another Harris.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Apparently, it's shut down.
Who knows? Who knows? I'd love a little boy.
James, can I put you on the spot right now?
Please do.
So, you worked with Tyga.
Yes, Tiger.
And there is an
T-Raw.
episode
Yeah,
where David says you're into Mozart and Beethoven,
yes.
but you say no, I'm into hip hop and
Absolutely.
rap, and you did a little rap.
I did.
Do you remember this rap?
Boom ticka ting ting, my cellular. Answer the phone, hello Selena. That's it. I've been saying the same rap since I was 12, and I am still useless at it.
Very nice.
But I do listen to it. It's great.
Talent.
Yes, pure raw
talent.
talent.
You heard it here on AfterBuzz, everyone. We've got a rapper in the house.
Excellent.
Useless.
I had to put you on the spot
That's
there.
fine. I'm good at
I
that.
was just gonna say, speaking of piggybacking off of Nick saying we want to see a little bit more, you wanted to see a little bit more Michael Rappaport,
Oh my God, what a
and
character.
you're showing with him.
Yes, that guy, I mean, that was probably one of the funnest, most bizarre showings I've ever done. Firstly, I want to say that guy is an absolute legend.
Shout
he
out.
came in, big shout out, Mr. Rappaport, you are a G. He came into that house and I was confused as to who he was. He was a big
We
guy.
definitely saw that.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was just a 6'5" guy with a hardcore East
Yeah.
Coast accent. I thought he was in the mob. But I mean, what a fun, interesting, complex, cool dude. And I mean, his assistant and his real estate agent, the whole thing was just brilliant. And I wish he'd bought the house, but it was one of the
You got a
funniest
good
showings.
entertainment value out of it, though.
Yeah.
Huh?
You got a good break entertainment value out of it.
Pure entertainment.
You said there was a lot of footage that we didn't even see.
Yeah, I was gonna
That you
ask.
said was
yes.
even better.
Oh boy, no! The footage you saw was down to a T of,
Okay.
of what he was. I mean, he left that showing, and I just sat there. And actually, obviously, there were cameras there. I think everybody sat there thinking, "What the hell just happened?" Yes, I mean, we all get to see a lot of fun things, and I will say regarding the whole team behind the camera, they're amazing. I mean, they're stuck with us for months.
I bet
and
they're having
months
a blast.
oh, trust me, I'm not easygoing, but they have the patience of a saint, let me tell you. And we have fun together. We become like a little family. We argue, we fight, we laugh, we have memories. But I mean, when Rappaport left that showing, he just drove off. It wasn't, I think the mic came up, bam, gone. And we just sat there like, what the hell beep just happened? It was very strange, but a lot of fun. And that's the fun part of our business.
I love it.
Yes.
Especially, oh, sorry, I have to say real quick.
go ahead.
If you say that's the fun part of the business, one of the funnest things I've seen, talking about me enjoying late night, I love seeing you with James Corden.
Oh, boy.
How was it giving a showing with such a energetic guy like James Corden, and especially to a celebrity client? You're trying to handle both things going on.
I tell you something, James Corden is a hashtag genius. I am telling you that right now. That guy is a creative, talented genius, and he is one of the funniest dudes I have ever worked with and had the pleasure of meeting. He's humble, he's cool, he's funny. We did a showing together. We went on a listing meeting, a broker's open. He got naked, he jumped in the pool, he had a shower.
Hold on.
the
What?
guy
Go back.
is hysterical.
Sidetrack.
He is amazing. No, but I mean, talk about a talented individual.
Yeah.
We didn't rehearse anything that we did for that segment, and I take zero credit other than I showed up to do my job, and the things that came out of this guy's mouth were brilliant. Honestly, the guy is a
Hashtag
genius.
genius. Hashtag winging it.
Yes, absolutely.
I was gonna say that's the best when it's just natural reaction.
Oh my God, he's amazing. Their team, everyone. I mean, I don't think anyone could believe it. We were standing outside of a $16 million home that is featured later on in the season, but we were standing by the swimming pool area, and obviously there's a small crew behind us, and Corden just ripped off his mic, and with that ripped off his shirt, then his jeans, and nobody knew what the hell was going on, and bam, he jumped
What
straight
was
into
going
that.
on through your mind there?
What the hell is going on? And is our client gonna kick us out of this house?
Is this okay? Is this
It's-
allowed?
It was. I don't think so, but he did it, and that's what I love. It's about breaking those boundaries, and that's
Yeah.
probably what makes him so successful. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
you're not even worried about the listing anymore. You're just worried about Corden.
Honestly.
Are we liable for him right
Yes.
now? What's going to happen? Don't dive head first.
He's
So
awesome.
many
No,
things
I
going
love
on.
him. He's an amazing guy. His executive producer, Ben Winston's a good friend. Amazing. They're just all so talented, and I think the proof is in the pudding. The
Yeah.
show is killing it. The carpool karaoke is killing it.
Yeah.
And it was a pleasure and an honor for David and I
And
to
when
work
you
with
went
him.
on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, because it's popping on their
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
channel. I mean, everyone knows, even more fans for $1 Million Listing now.
Yeah, it was
that's
cool.
awesome to have
it was
him, I'm
great.
sure.
Very cool.
Cool.
Very cool.
Speaking of risk, though, we
Yes.
saw in episode 2 that you and David kind of trespassed a little bit.
I believe that's what you would call it.
I
yes.
love that. I
Is
was
that
sitting here
agency
going
does?
BE
Yes.
aggressive.
I was gonna say,
I
is
love
that-
that.
That's called
Is that the
creating
riskiest?
opportunity right
Exactly.
there.
Be aggressive.
Yeah.
You have to.
Listen, we work in the most cutthroat industry with high stakes, high
course.
commissions, and we're selling a house that's 2 doors away for
You're
9.6.
right there. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
For sure, and this house is being built for 4 years.
4 years,
and
I remember, yeah.
David and I have been tracking the house and watching it get built, and bam, the gates are open. There's someone cleaning
That was
the
not
windows.
a break, and you clearly announced who you were.
Thank you.
We're talking
The
to
door
everyone
was
anyway.
unlocked.
Exactly,
You walked
exactly,
in and you
exactly.
introduced yourself.
Precisely, and that's going to be a really cool story later on. That
Oh, I
the,
can't
the,
wait.
The owner of that house is amazing, and become a dear friend to David and I, and the whole story, and just it's a really great story.
Is it unfolding in this season?
Unfolding later on down the
I
line, and
can't
it's
wait.
exciting. Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
That's awesome.
What else are you looking forward to this season?
Honestly, everything. I think that they've really managed to create the most incredible season. I think that for what they tried to achieve with really being able to show the mechanics of the deal, show the complications that we as real estate agents go through. Not every listing or buying, not everything is just hunky-dory.
Like the Dolphin
I mean,
listing, the Dolphin estate.
It's not straightforward, and I think that we've really been able to capture the complications that
Yeah.
we go through, the ups and the downs, and the disagreements and the agreements and the high level of competitiveness, and I think they've really perfected that this season, and there's just some really amazing moments and stories and sales and real estate, and I think it's an incredible season. that
I
we
think a
have.
lot of people on the outside look at what you do selling luxury real estate as such a glamorous gig.
It's great.
I know, but
Yeah.
there's so, like you said, there's so much to it too. There's so much that people don't see in those
Agreed.
little details.
I will say this, and people often
Little
ask...
details, big details.
Big details. People often ask, what do you think of the show? Do you enjoy doing the show? And for David and I think not only do we get the opportunity to show people around the world, potential clients, how we do things, but actually we get to show new agents that are coming into the business how we are creative and the way we do things. And people may not agree with the way we do things. People may agree with the things that we do. But at the end of the day, we get to share what we work so hard doing every day, inside and out. And I really do hope that there's inspiration to the people that are coming into the business and have the tenacity and want to work hard and want to get into it. I hope that we're able to provide value to those people and actually help them. That's a really great achievement.
I'm getting into the business and I'm inspired.
All right.
I was
That's
gonna
what we want to
say,
hear.
I
any
am very
advice
inspired.
for a newly licensed agent or somebody
For
who's
sure.
sitting for their license or somebody
You're
who's
just
been there for a
saying,
year.
just
Yes.
throwing it
Yeah,
out
I'm
there.
I'm
Nataly
speaking for
Tvidian.
myself too.
My
less than a
advice
year in.
really, and this is something David and I always lived by, is work harder than anybody else, be creative, think outside the box, have goals, and just do things differently to the competition. I think for Dave and I, we always looked at who was at the top, how we could do things in a similar fashion but differently so that we could become unique and become ourselves. And I think brand is everything in this business. You are your brand. So be successful in the way you dress, the way you approach deals, sit open houses, go door knocking, and do things differently to the competition and work harder than anyone else out there, and you'll succeed.
I think with this season here, we even
Hashtag
have the best
inspired.
cast we've ever seen so far because everyone is different from one another.
Right.
We have the Altman brothers, we have Madison, we have Flag, and then we have you and David. And I
Right.
feel like there's nothing similar between any of y'all, even negotiation style. Even Flag and Altman alone.
Yep.
Last episode, we saw Flag kind of late in his own house for a meeting,
Yep.
doodling around, and Altman obviously is right there, ready to go.
Yep.
And
But
then,
you're also great at what you do.
yeah,
The
you have
styles
different
are very
styles.
different.
Right.
Flag said, "I'm late." Of course, I'm on purpose.
Of course, he
I know.
owns that. He
Yeah.
owns it. I mean, not many real estate agents can show up late, own it, and get away with it.
I mean,
he can
You know
somehow.
that more than anybody with your lunch that you had.
Which
where-
lunch was that?
Where he I believe it was
Oh
the first
yeah,
or
he
second
showed up
episode.
late and then wanted me to
Yeah.
pay the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, who does
What kind
that?
of rule was that?
Seriously, Flag is, and you should get him to come here and have a chat. He is one of the funniest individuals I think we have ever met. I mean,
That's awesome.
He is a real character.
So what we
For
see
sure.
is
Hear that,
actually
Flag?
him. It's actually
No,
Flag.
for what you see is an understatement.
Oh,
of
really?
what Josh
Really?
is. He is
Okay.
completely
Oh, no.
nuts, and he owns it. You know what? I love him dearly because he reminds me of friends of ours in London.
Okay.
You know, he doesn't care. And I think that there's very few people in the world that truly don't care. And he does care about his business. And the guy's a wealth of information, don't get me wrong. But he's just very funny to be around. And he's become a dear friend to both David and I. And he's
That's incredible.
hysterical.
Was it last season that you and Flag you went on a knocking spree?
Door knocking
Yeah, you
sesh.
went-
And we got a listing. That was
I
fun.
love that house.
Amazing house. Yes,
Amazing.
that was a quick sale. And that was actually to a buyer who bought the property through FaceTime. I mean, talk about buying a property sight unseen through FaceTime, and that was a great sale. But yes, we did go door knocking. We've done it before. We'll do it again. and
Yeah,
it's
that was a little
lot of
challenge you
fun.
had. You were having drinks and you were like, let's go
I
knock
know.
on some doors.
A lot of
And
fun.
it
Talk
worked
about
out.
the power
Yes.
of social media and real
crazy.
estate.
It's
How big is
crazy.
that? Social media and real estate.
To me, I mean, some agents don't use it. I look at this as the future, and it's technology and it's forward thinking. And there's actually an episode later on in the season where
that's great.
David and I do get creative with social media and trying to explore new areas. And look, to me, if you use social media in the right way, and you can use it to your advantage, I said it to you before, it's like a full-time job. But
It definitely is.
boy, it can work, and especially in our business. I think we put something actually on the Twitter, or no, sorry, we put something on Facebook this week of a property that's not yet on the market that's going to be out next week. And an agent emailed me and said, hey, we've got a buyer, and they're coming Monday. The property goes on
That's
the market
incredible.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's-
incredible.
It does work for sure.
That's the new
And even
way
this
it's
right here,
crazy
we got
going.
Facebook Live going on at the same time.
Facebook Live's right there.
We've thrown out
Yes.
probably 15 hashtags
Yeah.
during this.
Exactly. Call me if you want to buy a house or sell a house or see a house.
This is how it
Hashtag
works.
new
it's
agent.
good. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Call her.
Hashtag inspired.
Yes, exactly.
I just enjoy the show, so you maybe
Hashtag super fan.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what we love
Hey,
here. at AfterBuzz.
hashtag you're going to be a late late show host one of these days on
Late
one of
night
these
is
shows.
is my goal.
There
so.
you go.
We're
Fantastic.
putting that out in the universe. I feel like whatever you put out there is going
Trust
to
me, I have
happen.
pictures on my wall at home.
Vision
Good.
board.
Yeah.
with me
that's
being late night
great.
host. Trust
Dude.
me, I'm obsessed with it.
Keep
But
getting inspired.
That means you're
and
gonna get there.
It's even more inspiring. I mean, just watching this show, the hustle, like I'm saying, you all have your different styles and how you approach these sales, and you close them
Yeah.
every time. You don't let up. I'm about to throw out rugby terminology now. We say kill people in different.
Yeah,
little
let's
bit
not
of
say
language.
that.
But you really don't let your foot up from their throats.
Listen, it's hard work, and I think people think that we're in a business where you just show a house, you sell a house, you make a commission check, and you
No.
spend it. No, this is a extremely high-pressured business. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun. I remember the days Dave and I started out, we would go door knocking together, and David's very analytic, and he'd have this amazing spreadsheet with all of the addresses, and we'd know exactly where we were going to door knock, and then we'd rock, paper, scissors for who would sit in the car and drive down the hill and who would door knock, and we made fun of it, but it's hard work. I remember we door knocked Dr. Dre's house once.
Oh, no.
We did
What
not get
happened?
in. We did not get in or to get a response. But, you know, it's hard work. It does pay off. It can be fun. It's what you make it.
Let me ask about this real quick, because you just mentioned about you make this money and where
Right.
it goes to. So Manny came up,
Yeah.
and you said $50,000 went into the marketing,
Yep.
and
The
then
listing
all of a
made me
sudden it
so
goes
nervous, I
to
couldn't watch
lease for
that.
2 months,
Yeah, it's
and you
crazy.
said that's poison.
You know what? It's the cost of doing business. That's the bottom line. And Manny is a great guy, a successful guy, a businessman. And David and I had this incredible opportunity with Kelsey to sell this $45 million
Yeah.
estate. And we look at each other, you know, and we say, wow, man, look where we are today. And you know what? We put everything into it. We worked our
You hired a
asses off.
pianist.
We did. Oh, yeah, that pianist
It
was
was-
great.
There
But
was
we
champagne,
didn't
there
do
was
it.
a pianist.
And I think failure is something that you have to be able to deal with in order to succeed. And you know what? We worked at it, and who knows? It's not sold yet. Maybe we sell it in the future. Let's see.
Yeah.
Come back.
One of my predictions was that the guy who's leasing it, who Manny let lease it, is actually, you're going to convince him
Maybe.
to purchase,
Maybe.
not that house, but
This wasn't
purchase
our
a house. So that
predictions.
turns into a sale.
Exactly. There's so many creative things, and you know what? It will come back to us. We'll see.
Possibly.
Yes, it's leased for now. For now. So if you're watching and if you have $45 million, call us.
Should we hashtag
Please.
that one? Hashtag 45 million.
Please, yes.
Hashtag social media to
Exactly.
sell a $45 million
Exactly.
home.
Go
It
out.
happened right here on AfterBuzz. You know,
Oh, gosh.
somebody was watching and
Yes, I'd be here every Thursday, for sure. When the show's not on, too. Come on,
guys,
exactly.
do it.
Yes.
Make it happen. Make it
Yes,
happen.
put these earphones on my big ears and off we go.
love his
Sell.
energy.
It's good to go.
Funny question.
Yes.
You talked about open houses again. Now, we always see finger foods.
Right.
What's a finger food you see
Fun
grab the most
question.
attention?
Where are
Oh,
you
boy.
going with this?
It just sounds, it's like something
Oh,
you see
boy.
every single episode in the
Yep.
showings.
Yep. I think we got to be creative. We got to have
Uh-huh.
food. We got to be able to draw people in.
It's
The
a step
most.
ahead. How do
What
you do
have
it?
I seen? Boy, not on the show, but I've been at an open house where there was a naked girl laying out on a
No.
table and sushi was being
Oh,
eaten off of
sushi.
her. Which, by the way, is a great idea for an open house, and we do want to do it one day.
I
in the
need
near
to get into
future.
real estate. This
Yes.
rugby thing isn't like I'm
Right?
fighting guys. Where
Right,
are they
right.
making movies?
It's fun. It's fun.
Do it.
Yeah, right.
Well, this was great.
I'm so had so much fun with you guys.
Can we do predictions?
One last question before, just because we are in LA and money talks.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first big transaction and what you did with how you celebrated?
Well, I can tell you, our first big transaction.
Or big is relative. Big could be $1,000.
I think you got big
No,
in your head right now. I think you.
actually, you know what? I think it was the second deal we ever did, and it was from door knocking.
Wow.
And
Okay.
Dave and I, it was amazing. We had a client, Zach Vella, and Zach wanted a property in Bel Air, and we door knocked a property, and it was amazing. We managed to get the property, and Zach bought it sight unseen.
Wow.
This was your second ever transaction?
Yeah.
That's a lot of
Wow.
trust.
Yeah, I mean, it sold
That's
for
incredible.
$6.5 million, and David and I were jumping for joy.
Yeah.
And you know what? That house is under construction today, and it will be a $40 million home in probably 12 months from today.
That's
Yeah.
an incredible
Wow,
story.
that was a
hashtag
fun one.
inspired.
Yeah.
That's
Amazing.
inspiration for
Good one.
anyone out there.
That was a
you
very
can start
fun-
from something
yes.
this small, $40 million.
It was fun.
That's
I'm
incredible.
so inspired
A
right
lot
now.
of fun. But guys, it's been a pleasure
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
meet you.
Thanks so
and
much
be
for coming
here.
again.
Thank you for having
was
me.
awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
We can do a few predictions.
Let's do predictions.
Alrighty, let's get
Predictions
into
it
it.
is. Oh my
This
God.
is
Yeah,
Whoa.
we
Yeah.
go big here.
Yeah.
We go big.
There are predictions.
Ooh.
Well, I'll start. I'm
Yeah.
just going to stick with my prediction from last week about Josh and Heather's wedding. I think it's going to be wonderful. And I'm looking forward to everything that happens with you and David and you at home with the family. And that's
Your prediction.
that's what I'm
Alright.
predicting.
My prediction is, let's see.
Make it a good one. James is here.
Well, I'm really touched by this episode with David, and I just want to predict that his family's going to be happy and healthy and well, and that is my prediction.
Amen.
Lots of positivity.
Amen. Doubling on your prediction and agreeing, and yes, and it's all going to be great. It's all going to be very great.
I have to have a fun one, so you heard it here first. I say there's going to be another Harris added to the family.
Listen to that, Valeria. All right? Hear that.
Look at the passion.
Yes.
Every episode he talks about it.
Yes.
It has to happen at some point.
Yes.
And then on top of that, I say Manny's lease is going to turn into a sale
I
of
love
some
him.
sort.
Yes.
So
Please, sending good vibes.
you heard it here first, and I know I'm right. Is there bets in Vegas that I can get this on?
Oh, I wouldn't. Yes.
universe.
Keep your money, but yes. Yes. It's been great,
Perfect.
guys.
Thank you
you
so much.
Great, yeah.
Thank you,
you,
guys.
James. Let everybody know
Lot
where
of
they
fun.
can find you, James.
At James Bond ST, and hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thanks for having me, and we'll be back.
We would love to have you back right
We will
here.
be back.
Please come
and
back.
So will David, and we
Anytime.
will have more fun
Deal.
right here.
Thanks so
you
much.
guys. Thank you.
Nick,
Thank you,
where
everyone,
can
for
everybody
watching.
where can everybody find you?
Find me at Nick Marty 13. I said it before, 13 is irrelevant, but something bad.
And I'm Nataly Tvidian. That's Nataly with a Y. Tvidian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys. Remember, I'm Erica Shannon. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby. Don't forget, we're also on iTunes, and leave your comments down below on YouTube. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.